ahead!
It's become quite apparent that the Nintendo Wii's main selling point has been with a younger audience, with casual and so-called family-oriented video games taking up the majority of the shelves. Sure, Mario Galaxy can be enjoyed by the pure-hearted souls who still maintain a connection with their inner child, but I wouldn't exactly consider the experience badass. However, No More Heroes has become one of the more prolific exceptions to the rule. No More Heroes is nitty, gritty, mature-rated, packed to the brim with cultural references, and mostly for the hardcore. I had no idea what to expect when I first turned this game on. As with many big releases, it seemed to get its fair share of backlash after some initial positive reviews from the professionals. I was really curious as to how I would interpret this game. Then I started playing. Holy crap, this game blew me the hell away when I first turned it on. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It felt like this game was made specifically for me. It was like some kind of imaginary cartoon that I wish existed back when I was in grade school. It was like the kind of entertainment I always wished Ninja Turtles actually was. It was like when I was watching Dragon Ball Z and first came to the realization that people died, and then wondered just how crazy the show could possibly get. Like Mario Galaxy, this game also spoke to the inner child in me. However, it wasn't the inner child that wanted to run around in a field and chase bunnies. It was the inner child in me that wanted to chop bitches up with a goddamn lightsaber. No More Heroes is the story of Travis Touchdown, an inner dork with a bit of an attitude. He somehow gets talked into joining this assassination ranking where he must fight to become #1 by taking out each assassin ranked above him. The game starts you out in the 11th place as you kill off ranked assassins in your main missions. Each mission contains its own separate story, which often doesn't make logical sense. These characters are all over the top and have some kind of crazy nonsense going on in their lives that they insist on telling you about. It's also absolutely hysterical. No More Heroes isn't for everyone because not everyone's going to get all of these jokes. While blood comically spraying everywhere does have some universal appeal, as it is pretty sweet in a Mortal Kombat 2 in 1993 kind of way, the mannerisms and dialogue of just about everyone in this game are all deeply rooted in something exceptionally nerdy. It pokes fun at anime stereotypes, makes Star Wars references just because Star Wars is cool, and includes throwbacks to the Atari generation of video games for reasons that I'm not even sure of. No More Heroes is self-aware of the fact that it's a video game and takes advantage of this by exploiting just about everything awesome it can think of. It's a perfect mix of new school action gaming and old school nostalgia. The missions of No More Heroes play out as a beat 'em up. There are tons of mindless enemies and it's up to you to destroy them. This is also one of the few action games that really use the Wii Remote's controls to its advantage. Your sword attacks are done by pressing the A button. However, you can differentiate between high attacks and low attacks by whether you keep the Wii Remote tilted up or down. It's brilliant. The same goes for the B button, which is usually used to either stun enemies or initiate crazy-ass wrestling moves. It's so great. Once you have enemies beat, you finish them off by swinging the Wii Remote in the direction it shows you. You can't really get this wrong, and it doesn't punish you for swinging the wrong way and will even patiently wait till you correct yourself, but it does such a great job at raising your immersion. I also never had any problems with the camera or enemy lock-on system.
Whoa! That was close. For a second there, I forgot that you were a killer.
Sorry if I scared you. I didn't mean to do that. Something's wrong with me today.
I let my guard down. Getting sloppy. I gotta stay on my toes.
You mind if I ask you something?
Yeah, what is it, Mr. Cosplay?
We're both assassins, right? Why do we have to kill each other anyway? If you ask me, it's absolutely meaningless.
It's about determining who's best. That's what it's about.
Can't argue with that. Well then, let's get started.
What? You want to shake hands?
We're both fighters, aren't we? Not killers, at least for now. This is a sign of sportsmanship, that we respect each other before and after the fight. Good luck.
Likewise.
Destroy Spark.
One of the more controversial parts of No More Heroes are the segments between main missions. While the assassination missions are a high-energy thrill ride, the game becomes a little more laid-back between them. You have to drive around town finding ways to make cash. You need to pay for your next entry fee, and it's well recommended you upgrade your equipment and train at the gym. You can even invest in getting some new threads, though it doesn't really affect the gameplay in any way beyond aesthetically. It's RPG elements like this that I think turn some gamers the wrong way. Raising money can feel like a bit of a grind. You either take up regular missions, which are usually something along the lines of killing a bunch of nameless enemies within a small area, or doing some run-of-the-mill jobs that are more like minigames. Some of these include mowing lawns, finding cats, and pumping gas. These parts aren't exactly stellar, but if you can get into this game's world, it doesn't feel so bad. As long as you aren't trying to buy every shirt, jacket, and pair of pants in here, it really won't take you that long either. Cutting grass doesn't sound that exciting, but then I only did it once and for a whole 3 minutes. I actually found it kind of amusing for that small amount of time too. However, the grind really isn't that long. I think it's here where we determine who actually enjoys this game's style and who doesn't. If you don't appreciate the game's more subtle sense of humor, direction, art style, and anime-like characters, you probably won't feel as compelled to get into the more slower parts of the game, where you basically further involve yourself in the world around you. No More Heroes contains some brilliant game design in that it takes full advantage of its art and style to hide the fact that it is essentially a game on a budget smaller than it'd like you to believe. The sandbox world where you travel between missions on your bike doesn't feel even close to the living and breathing city you find in Grand Theft Auto 4. However, if you buy into what No More Heroes is, it doesn't need to. The game is self-referential in realizing that it's a video game, which is one of its greatest advantages in delivering its unique experience. It's through this that it doesn't even matter if certain other aspects of the game feel a bit rushed or underdeveloped. Do I really want to be able to hijack cars, beat people down on each street corner, and run from the cops if it's tarnishing this game's ironic sense of style? No More Heroes does not aim for realism. True, the city could have been slightly less desolate, but such hardly even feels integral. All of that could be easily considered just a bunch of unnecessary bullshit that would have nothing to do with this video game's point. Not everyone will feel the same about No More Heroes. Some may love the action, gameplay, enjoy the stat management, and appreciate each of the jokes this game makes. These people will probably consider this one of the best games of the year. I think the majority of action gamers will probably enjoy the combat, laugh at the references involving Star Wars, and then walk away considering this a flawed but decent experience. Personally, I fall into the former. It's been a long time since I've laughed this hard at a video game that was actually made to be humorous. I'm an artistic whore at heart, and I loved soaking in this game's unique flavor. There are subtle improvements that I hope for in the sequel, but nothing in here rubbed me the wrong way. If anything, I only wish this game were longer, as I finished my first leisurely playthrough at about 14 hours. Otherwise, I find No More Heroes to be a really great game. I give No More Heroes on the Nintendo Wii a 9 out of 10.